everyone, so today we are going to be doing a Boxycharm unboxing for the month of October. If you guys would like to sign up for Boxycharm, you can use my referral link below. If you sign up using my referral link, you get points and I get points as well. So if you are just interested in seeing what I got in my box for this month, the first product I got is the Tovegan Green Glow Up Cream. Next, I got the Ciate London Dewy Skin Tint. Tarte Blush Tape Liquid Blush in Pink, Lunar Beauty Moonshroom Highlighter Palette, and the Eloise Goddess Eyeshadow Palette. So if that was all you were interested in seeing, then definitely leave a like before you head out. But if you want to know more about these products and what I think about them, then definitely keep watching. So the first product I got is the Tovegan Green Glow Up Cream. This one retails for $25. And at first I thought this was going to be a little bit of like a color correcting type of product. However, it is a little bit different than what I was expecting. So let's go ahead and get into the application. So this is what it looks like. Kind of looks like it has a little bit more of like a gel kind of formula to it, if you can see it here on the little inner cap, but it doesn't really look like it's going to give any like color correcting properties to it like I thought it would, but this is what it looks like. So let's go ahead and apply it. Now I do actually already have a moisturizer on, but it's kind of already sunk into the skin. I put it on about 30 minutes ago, so we can always add a little bit more of a moisturizer. And I have very dry skin, so I can take all I can get. It does have a very light kind of like citrusy kind of scent to it, almost like a lime kind of scent, maybe something like that. It actually kind of reminds me a lot of the Pharmacy Green Cleansing Balm type of scent. It kind of has that like lemon lime kind of scent to it. Very light, very fresh though, so I do quite like that. The texture of it feels quite nice on the skin. However, I kind of wish that it did have a little bit of like a color correcting type of property to it, because it really doesn't have any type of actual color to it other than it being very slightly tinted green, but none of that comes off on the skin. As a moisturizer, it does seem like it is just a very standard kind of a light to medium weight type of moisturizer, but I'll definitely be using it. I can always use moisturizer in my collection. So those are my thoughts on that. Next up, we have the Ciate London Dewy Skin Glass Glow Skin Tint. It's a very long name. This one retails for $32 and they sent me the color number 10. So let's go ahead and get into the application. Please excuse these other swatches here, but overall I think color-wise, I think this might actually work quite well. And it does look a little thicker than I was expecting. I thought it was going to be like super liquidy, but it actually does have a little bit of a thickness to it. So let's go ahead and we'll dot it on one side of my face, and I'll blend that in with my sponge here just to kind of see what this gives us. All right, so this is the first layer applied. Overall, I feel like color-wise, it's actually pretty nice. It definitely doesn't have a drastically different color on my skin once it's all blended in. So obviously no foundation, and this is with the one layer applied. I do want to see how it builds up though, so I am going to apply just a little bit more. We'll pick up some more of that and build it up. It definitely gave me a little bit more coverage, but still, I mean, honestly, I don't really feel like it looks like I have a whole lot of foundation on, so I'm actually quite impressed with that. And I think that the color option that they sent me is actually pretty spot on for me. It does have a very lightweight texture feeling on the skin, so I quite like that as well. I don't really love like a super thick, heavy type of feeling on my skin. Gives me just enough coverage to even out my skin, but not feel like I'm wearing like a really thick, heavy mask. It does have a bit of a fragrance to it, and honestly, I cannot put my finger on what this scent is. It's like something kind of familiar, but like not something that I can figure out. It's kind of like a florally type of scent, maybe almost like a lily, something like that, or some type of like white florally flower. I don't love that, and then it also smells like a little bit of like a tea scent, if that makes sense. So that's probably the one thing I don't like about it. However, I don't think it's like terribly strong, and I feel like once this kind of sets on my face for a few minutes, it'll probably go away, but that is one thing I don't necessarily love about this product. But I definitely think it leans a little bit more towards like my wintry kind of color, because it is a little on the paler side. But I can definitely warm it up with like some bronzers and stuff to kind of give it a little bit more of a warmth to it. I'm actually kind of liking this. I'll definitely continue using this. Next up, we have the Lunar Beauty Moonshroom Highlighter Palette. Now, I don't think I've ever tried anything from Lunar Beauty before. I don't think I have. I might be confused. But this palette retails for $36, so let's go ahead and see what it looks like. So it's all shimmery products. We kind of have two highlightery type products. There's like a light champagne here, a little bit more of like a medium golden. Then there is a bronzier shimmer shade and then a pinky kind of blushy shade. So I kind of want to start off with the darkest one, which is Sprinkle. Now, typically I don't like a shimmery contour, but I do want to try this out. We're going to make some concessions for this video. So I want to dip into that darkest one right there. I'm just going to do a little dip because like I said, I'm not trying to like look like a disco ball. So I'm going to start by kind of applying this to where I would apply like my contour and just kind of really blend it in. So I'm going to do a little bit on my hairline, a little bit under the cheekbones, and just kind of blend that in. Also want to just kind of give my face a little bit of warmth from the foundation just being a little bit on the light side. But like I said, I mean, for a winter color, I think it's really going to work well for me. We'll do just a little bit on the jawline as well. Okay, now this is with it applied just to this side of my face. Overall, I think I like it. It actually did really warm up my skin tone just a little bit, kind of gave it a little bit more life to it than just like a pale, cold kind of look. So I actually quite like it. And looking at it up close, I mean, you really can't see a lot of the shimmer, which I was very surprised by. Luckily, once you like really blend it in, there's not that much of the shimmer that comes off, which for me is a good thing. So I do want to pop back to this palette in just a moment. Next up, we have from Tarte. This is called the Blush Tape Liquid Blush in the color Pink, and this one retails for $36. Don't really love Tarte, not because their products are bad or anything, but just because I don't really like the company. So I definitely make it a point to not buy Tarte makeup, but I have gotten a few items before from subscription boxes and things like this. So this is the Tarte Double Duty Beauty Blush Tape, and it is a liquid blush in the color Pink. So it's just kind of one of the sponge tip ones, very reminiscent of like the Charlotte Tilbury one. Elf has this one now. I mean, pretty much every brand has these types of products now. So let's see. I need to turn it on. I do like that it has an on-off little twist cap there, so that way you don't have any mishaps in your makeup bags. So if I squeeze a little bit of that out, let's do a little swatch of this. Once again, please excuse the other swatches on my hand here. Overall, it's kind of like a pinky metallic-y finish blush, but it doesn't really seem to have a lot of base color, so I think that it probably could be a little bit more wearable and not a crazy intense pigmented blush. So let's just go ahead and we'll do just a couple dots of this on the cheek, and then I like to blend it with a separate brush. I've just never loved using these applicators to blend, so we'll just go with that. Definitely a little bit more on the subtle side, but it's really kind of like that shimmery sheen that's coming through. So let's kind of put on just a little bit more. All right, that's a very soft, kind of pretty look. Now, since it does have a little bit more of like that shimmery sheen to it, I feel like you could get away with this being almost like a highlighter blush in one kind of product if you do like just a little bit of shine onto the cheek. I feel like I could totally wear this without a highlighter and it would kind of multitask in that way. So that is what that looks like. Overall, I think it's a really pretty product. I don't necessarily think it's something that crazily unique or anything, so I don't necessarily feel like this is something like you have to run out and buy, especially since there are so many cheaper alternatives to this type of product now. This one retails for $36. I would absolutely go for the e.l.f. one before that just because price alone, and I feel like it gave a pretty similar result to that as well. However, it is a pretty product. I like it. I'll probably use it, but it's not really something that I feel like is that unique that you have to go get it. And because I still want to try some of the other products in here, I do want to use this color here. This one is called Blossom, and it is definitely a shimmery one. It actually has a really pretty kind of like peachy reflex to it, so I think that's a really pretty color. And I think it will work really well with the blush that I have on below. This almost gives me, okay, what's the vibe? Like NARS Orgasm? Is that the one that has like the little bit of the peachy shimmer to it? I think it is. It gives me that kind of color. So I do want to pick up just a little bit of that, and we'll just kind of lightly apply that over the top of the blush. Now, I probably am going to be a little bit like Shimmer City now with having so many dewy products on my face, but I actually kind of think it looks quite pretty. I definitely think I would absolutely wear these separately in regular makeup application, but if you're really into like a really shimmery kind of peachy blush, this one is really cute. And I want to use the lightest highlighter. This one is called Sugar, and we're just going to do a little dusting of that as well. I feel like this is one of those colors that suits my skin tone the best, so we'll just do a little light dusting across the top of my cheekbones. That one is definitely a very like from space highlighter. I think I totally just way overdid it. All right, we are definitely like Glow City. I think I kind of really overdid it today, but in the name of trying out makeup, I think that this is actually really nice. I like this one a lot. This one retails for $36. I do like this and I'm glad that I have it, and I think it's a really good product. I just don't know if it's that unique that I would go and seek this out, but if you're a fan of Lunar Beauty and you want a type of highlighter, blushy, bronzy palette, kind of something that can do it all, I think this is a good option. And finally, the last product that we got is from the brand Eloise, and this is called the Goddess palette. Now, I'm not familiar with this brand before, but when I saw the packaging of it, I was really intrigued. I think this looks so pretty, and this one retails for $32. So let's get into it and I'll show you guys how I created my eyeshadow look today with this palette. Now, I have to say, when I first opened the box and I saw the packaging of this, I was like, yes, this is so pretty. But whenever I opened it up, I was a little disappointed just because I feel like the color story of this did not seem to match what I was expecting based on the packaging. I really feel like these colors are a lot darker and deeper than what I would have thought just based on the palette design, and I really thought we were gonna have like some purples or some pinks or a little bit more light and airy. I just feel like this one, although it is a pretty set of eyeshadows, just was not what I was expecting at all. Let's go ahead and get into this. Alright, so to start off the look, I want to take this kind of like a malt tan color here. We're going to start the look off with just a little bit of that, and I'm going to apply this to the underside of my brow bone just to give a little bit of shadow there. Once we blend in the crease color, it'll have something to kind of blend into. Next, using this color called Empress Elegance, we're going to pick that up, and that's going to be our main crease color. I'm going to apply this mainly to the outer portion of my crease and blend that inward just a little bit. The shadows do seem to be blending quite easily, and they are pretty pigmented. And next, I'm really intrigued to try this middle shade here, and this one is called Divine Aura. It's almost like a coppery bronze with oops, I just dug my finger into it. It's almost like a little bit of like a coppery bronze with a little bit of like a light white flaky kind of color in it. So I'm gonna pick this up on my finger and I'm gonna apply this right to the lid. And I forgot to do my regular little trick that I always do with applying a sticky base to my lid. Just completely slipped my mind, but that's all right. It is a really pretty color. It doesn't really look that unique though. It just kind of looks like a light bronzy kind of shimmer. And then just for fun, I will take a little bit of that darker copper. This one is called Goddess Glow. Once again, I'm gonna take that on my finger. I'm gonna kind of focus that mainly on the center and blend that inward. It's also a really pretty color, very intense, very colorful. They are very soft, very pigmented, very easy to blend. Now I'm going to go back to Empress Elegance and take that on a pencil brush, and we're going to run that on the outer portion and blend it upward. The only thing I was just thrown off by the color selection for this palette, as I didn't really feel like these colors matched this type of packaging design. I thought we'd have some more like pinks and purples and light kind of airy type of colors. So it was just a little bit different than what I was expecting when I actually opened the palette. But the colors themselves do look quite pretty. I haven't played with this blue color yet, but it does look like a really pretty kind of a little bit of a shifty blue color. So I do quite like this palette, and I like that it is also a nice small size and very easy to travel with. And the total value of my box this month was $161. I think overall I paid about maybe like $32 for this box after tax and shipping and all that. So overall, I do really like all of the products in this box. I think that as far as for like my skin tone, they all work really well for me, and they're products I can see myself using. However, I feel like there wasn't really a standout product for me necessarily in this box, but overall I do think that all the products were a really good value. I would probably rank this box a solid B. I just really liked a lot of the products, but nothing just like really got me excited. It's all things that I'm like could take or leave. So I will definitely try to play with these some more and work them into my makeup routine. Alright guys, so that is everything that I got in my box this month. Overall, I think it was a pretty solid box, but I am always excited to see what they've got coming next. So that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Links are below. And until my next video, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.